This is a comedy podcast and should not be used as a primary source of information. We apologize in advance for offending any tiny persons, the undead, the country of France, and all other minority groups. Information provided should not be considered extensive research. Use as directed. This podcast can burn eyes. Follow application directions exactly. Do not use while sleeping. Safety goggles recommended. Do not eat this podcast. Keep out of reach of children. Never use a lit match or open flame near this podcast. May cause drowsiness. Use care when operating heavy machinery. Avoid placing this podcast near crotch. Can cause urine to turn black. Once used rectally, this podcast should not be used orally. Loss of the ability to perform or enjoy sex and or painful erections that last for more than 4 hours are common while listening to this podcast. Other side effects include uncontrollable laughter, choking, fits of hysteria, diarrhea, anal hemorrhaging, constipation, bloating, sleepwalking, hallucinations, frequent alien abduction, excessive gambling, spontaneous combustion, blind spots, distorted vision, halos around lights, hair loss, unwanted hair growth, aggression, antisocial behavior, impulsivity, irritability, anger, anxiety, screaming, or self-harm.
But seriously, this show is not for anyone who is easily offended by strong language or graphic content. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
I mean, depending on what we're talking about.
I don't even...
What were we talking about?
Will it even work when it's soft?
I guess
don't
it
know.
depends on what you're doing with it.
Is it a burrito?
Are there hard burritos?
Yeah. They're called tacos.
Okay.
Giggity.
Yay.
Yay.
I guess we're going to start with your episode first.
My episode first. Are we on?
Yep.
Hello,
Right.
pod people.
Thank you so much for coming to tell us a story. Troy, our friend, our number one fan.
Yep.
First off, I just want to say I like your new setup here. Last time I
Yay.
was here, it was a little shakier. It got the room. I love the PBR decor all over.
Yeah.
We're working on it.
They got the most bitchin' PBR skateboard, longboard here in the studio, recording studio here, and yeah, it's great to be with you gals again. Am I allowed to say gals in this politically correct?
Know.
With you human beings.
I mean,
I think I prefer gals over human beings.
yeah.
I had to add, one time I was interviewing some women's study lady, and,
Oh, yeah.
and I think I asked her, is
You
it
know,
okay
ladies, women,
to open the door for women now? Is that okay?
what'd you say?
You need to.
She
be
goes,
closer.
you're just being polite. I go, well, I open it for everyone. It's guys and gals. I'll open the door for anyone. What do you gals think about when a guy opens the door for you?
I think
I
it's
like it.
fine. I open doors for everyone too. I think
Right.
it's just common courtesy
Right.
all around.
But
Right.
the SBJs, the SJWs, the social justice
Yeah.
warriors, they
Oh.
get pissed off, man.
They could suck it.
But how do you know who's one of those people?
They'll
Yeah.
yell at you after you do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Stop
only
being
way
polite
tell.
to me.
Yeah. How dare you?
Right.
Your male, toxic politeness there.
Male. Toxic male. Yeah.
So you want me to tell you a story?
Yeah.
First of all, let me ask
We're
you.
jumping into it.
Let me ask you a question.
No banter.
We can banter.
No, it's fine. Let's keep it clean.
I'm not a small talk type of guy. I try.
I know.
I do try. Rebecca, you know me for a couple of years. I mean, if somebody asks you what's one thing about Troyman I should know, or what's one thing you can tell me about him, probably the number one thing that pops in your mind is he's a huge Notre Dame fan.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Oh.
I mean, you are a fan of the French culture, I know.
Yeah.
I know you want to learn French. I know
But
you
I've
wanna
given
go
that up.
there. So, yeah.
I listen to a lot of French music.
Yep. So,
French rock and roll is the best, man.
not a surprise. Okay.
I guess my Catholic upbringing, I was always a Notre Dame fan.
Right.
The nuns on Fridays, a couple of them used to wear their Notre Dame hats instead of their habits. The nuns' habits. They would
That's
actually
awesome.
wear the Notre
That's
Dame
pretty
hat.
cool.
And, because a lot of them went to Notre Dame. So I've always had a thing for Notre Dame. I have 3 Notre Dame hats that I almost should have worn mine. But
You should.
anyway, so I don't know why well, I guess it's French, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So I took a particular notice of that. Everyone did. I mean, it was all over the internet.
You mean the fire?
Devastating.
You're referring to the fire?
Yeah, I'm referring to the fire. And it was sad. And if you got to see the video, I mean, it was really, really kind of touching to watch, in the evening, all these people. I don't know if you saw the people gathering and doing the hymns there or singing the hymns there. It was really sweet. So, it's not just a Catholic icon. It's a worldwide icon. It's on the World Heritage Site. Built in the 1100s. It's a place where kings were, crowned and all sorts of things. And so
all the artwork.
That's what I was thinking.
Luckily, it was going on being some renovations and stuff. So they'd removed a lot of stuff.
Of it, it was gone. Thank God.
The crown of thorns.
They said a priest rescued it, but then later on, I heard that it was removed prior to the.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I'm like, he rescued it 2 weeks before the fire. Right. Did he know about this fire?
Well, I mean, if they were doing renovations, they might have brought it out before then. But the thing is, there was also a lot of holy relics in there. Are you guys familiar with the relics?
Not what specifically
Not
held
specifically,
there.
yeah.
I know of.
I mean, do you know what religious relics are?
Yes.
Okay.
I just don't know which ones are there.
They had they had a lot. I'm trying to remember. They had the replica of the True Cross. They had a piece of Jesus sandals.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
So there was a lot of relics that were saved. But relics, I mean, are spread out all over in every Catholic church. And the Catholic churches here in Pensacola have a lot of relics.
What do they have?
I'll get to that here in just a second.
Okay.
But I want to talk to you about some of the relics that you can find worldwide.
Nice.
And most of Jesus' sandals are in Germany, though. If you want, I don't know why.
I don't know
we
why
need to go to Germany.
And these are holy.
That sentence just was so funny.
No, this one's going to be buried. This one will be better. In the Netherlands, they've got Mary's girdle.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. They've got Mary's girdle. Come see Mary's undergarments, man.
That's crazy. Is it on display or is it something like
No, most relics
holy?
are not on display.
Right.
They're kept in, I think the pronunciation is reliquaries.
Sure.
Many of them are, when they hold bones and stuff, they're usually shaped like coffins, little glass coffins. Trying to see what else is around. Islam, they have holy relics. They have the hair of Muhammad, which I think is strange that you can't depict Muhammad, because they don't believe in any kind of. But yet, we're gonna have his hair as some holy.
Right.
So there are many religions that.
Yep. I don't get any of them. I
Islam.
don't understand any of y'all.
But I better do like South Park when they did something on Islam, but. We respect you guys very much. We have no arguments with you. We love you, especially if they know where you live,
right?
And where you're recording at.
I just don't get any of it. So.
There are different saints that have the relic. Any saint can have relics, and relics are basically a piece of clothing, something used like a girdle, a lot of bones, and there are the bones of Saint Benedict were at. Notre Dame, the clothing of Saint Vincent de Paul.
Like what? All of it? Like his whole wardrobe?
Yeah, they got it in an estate sale. They've got some relics of Saint Agnes, who's known as Virgin and Martyr.
What?
Virgin and Martyr.
Okay.
Cecilia was a saint, but she's also known as Virgin and Martyr.
Sounds like a good metal band name.
Cecilia, Virgin
Sounds
and
like
Martyr.
they're killing a lot of girls that's not putting out. So.
No, this ain't a trend there.
It's unfortunate.
It wasn't just the relics though. You had the extensive architectural work, the flying buttresses and the ribbed vaults, which weren't commonly used, and they're basically great, support. They ushered in new eras of support. But what I was going to say, when you asked, what they had here in Pensacola, we have many, many relics at the Basilica of St. Michael's. Do you know what a basilica is?
It's a big church, right?
It's a church of renown. It's got to have some kind of historical historical significance, spiritual significance. And the only basilica here in town is the Basilica of St. Michael's downtown,
Okay.
which was the oldest church. And Father Joe over there, I interviewed him. Well, I know him pretty well, but one interview we had finished, and we were talking about the relics, and he keeps them all there. And he opened up all these, these beautiful cases, and you'd see these like little bones and little coffin shaped, and they're like, it's really weird, and who knows if they're real, but every Catholic church is supposed to have at least one relic that are brought out on certain occasions for veneration. Though I don't know if that's proof, but they're but they'll have like one saint's like remains might be spread out in like 50 different churches.
Right.
So.
See, how does that work? The Vatican like just has them all and then sends them to a church every time a new one opens.
Well, I don't know how they get them. I think some. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm sure the Vatican and the diocese have to approve all this stuff. I mean, the Catholic Church is there's a big bureaucracy there, so I'm sure, they probably assign certain things. But last year, there were some special touring relics that came through town. They have tours, like rock and roll tours.
Yeah.
And so,
Elvis?
What's that?
Elvis remains?
No, even better. They brought
Saint Elvis, sorry.
The Basilica of St. Michael. They brought in on tour for a couple months the relics, the bones of Padre Pio.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him?
No.
The
I don't.
20th century great stigmatist. Do you know what the stigmata is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He.
What a condescending little.
Well, I don't know. I asked you who Padre Pio was.
And I said,
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you know.
means not.
What
much.
things do you know?
I don't know any of this.
Tell us all the things you know.
But you know what stigmatus is?
Yes. Well,
Okay.
yes.
Basically, someone, well, for our viewers who aren't as smart as you, it's someone
For the
who
folks at home that may not understand.
miraculously,
just tell 'em.
mysteriously will suffer the wounds of Christ.
Right.
And Padre Pio,
Do you do this?
all the time, all
Is
day,
that what
every
you
day.
do?
Yeah, I'm familiar with
It
it.
happens to me every month.
Padre Pio was one of the,
Sorry.
I don't think those were Jesus' wounds. I think those were Mary's wounds.
Oh shit! Well, it feels like suffering. I'm not.
Plus that girdle. What is the girdle anyway? I don't know.
It's
Doesn't it just
restrict your
suck
breathing,
you in?
right?
Yeah.
Why would she need a girdle?
She's trying to look hot, man.
Is that what it was?
I didn't think that was a thing then.
I
Hot?
thought they all their.
There were no hot girls back in the day?
I mean,
I'm just saying. I thought they all just kind of wore like robes
Right.
and baggy clothes.
When you're the
sacks and-
when you're the when you're the mother of the true Lord, you know that you don't think God's gonna pick who do I want for the mother of my, of Jesus. You think he's gonna pick just some?
You gotta be in here.
You think he's gonna pick some doggy? I hate to say, can I say that doggy-looking woman?
I don't know.
I'm gonna edit that out.
A woman who maybe not as attractive. Mary was probably hot. That's
Okay.
probably a
He
given.
wants a woman that wears lingerie and is
Yes.
sexy in the bed.
All right.
Well,
Oh,
she
wait,
was a
but she was
virgin.
a virgin.
She can be
Right.
taught.
Right.
She can
Right.
be
Oh,
taught.
God.
We went there.
I should have said ex-Catholic.
Reel it in.
Ex-Catholic. Wow.
Should we have introduced the podcast?
Oh, we haven't even said our names yet.
It's all gone terribly wrong.
It's at this moment in the podcast, it has all gone terribly wrong.
It has.
I almost got titty worms.
Titty worms.
What?
I told you.
I almost
Oh,
got
yeah.
titty. Weren't y'all working on that the other day?
I told you this.
I almost got titty worms. Isn't that the name of the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was. What were we talking about? Mary's panties.
Mary's corset.
Mary's panties. Apparently, she liked to look hot for Joseph and the
stop.
Lord. I mean, I don't know. She had a girdle. But anyway, Padre Pio, his relics came through. And if you ever get to do some research on
What
Padre
did he
Pio,
do?
He just bled a lot.
Okay. Should I do that every month?
But he bled.
Why am I not a saint?
Okay, let's. You name reason one. I'll name reason two. And we'll just go until we run out of reasons.
I don't think we'll run out. We'll be here
Withdrawn.
all night.
Withdrawn.
Okay. No, he was just a favorite. I don't know where he's from. I should have found that out. I used to know. It's either
Some
Spain
Spanish,
or somewhere in South America. I think it's South America. But Padre Pio, he really was an interesting guy. And, there were people and skeptics and scientists who went to look at him, and they couldn't explain it. I mean, he would just break out in the lashes across the back and bloody.
Did anyone see it as it was happening?
Yes.
Or did
Yes.
he'd just come out of
Yes.
his room and be like, check this out,
It was in the
guys."
early part of the 20th century.
So there should be like photographic evidence.
Oh
right?
yeah, I think there is. Look it up. You gotta.
Look it up.
I brought
Give me
a.
my phone.
We'll put it on our
I went old
YouTube.
school. I brought my notepad.
Give me my phone.
Your phone.
We should have drawn pictures.
Padre who?
Padre Pio. And they also brought in the heart last year into Pensacola. They transported the heart of St. John Vianney, who is the patron saint of priests. The guy's heart's going on tour. Now, at what point does, and I've always wondered that. I mean, they talk about, respecting the dead and stuff, at what point can your body be dug up and ripped apart and stuff? And it's okay. I always watch these Egyptian shows, uncovering where they find these mummies, and I thought you're supposed to leave all dead people alone. If I went into the cemetery here in town and start digging up people, they wouldn't, give me a degree or anything.
Right.
You just go to jail.
Just go to jail, and I don't want to go again.
I don't know, man. There's no real
What is that?
evidence. I mean, he holds. Yeah, like that's a painting.
Where's he?
That's funny.
Where's he from? Does it say?
Oh, oopsies.
He looks like Dan Harmon.
Who's Dan Harmon?
He's
Italy.
one of the writers of Rick and Morty.
Italy. This man is from Italy.
Italy. Okay. Padre Pio. There's no good pictures.
I mean, not really.
Well, Jesus says he's a stigmatist.
Okay.
All right.
And but anyway, they had his bones hanging around last year. I wish I had known about that. And I would love to see the heart of any saint, St. John Vianney.
I mean, what does that look? Can you look that up? What does that look like now?
I have no clue.
The heart of who?
St. John Vianney, Vianny.
Just look like a little piece of burnt pepperoni.
I
I mean,
had
I
pizza
can't imagine
today.
it's like full on heart.
I don't remember what you said about it.
Mary, I'm still stuck up on Mary's girdle, man. That's just pretty crazy. But anyway, it was really cool to see all the old relics. I can't remember all of them, but it was just a lot of little bones and stuff like that. And they purport to have a tiny sliver of the true cross there, too, at Basilica of St. Michael the Archangel, which is something I don't understand in that name. Is there a problem with that name, Basilica of St. Michael the Archangel?
I mean,
It's just too long.
How can an angel be a saint?
right?
I mean,
Why not?
He's double dipping.
I mean,
Two
a
paychecks.
saint, I look
Man,
at someone,
two
burritos.
paychecks.
a saint should be a person who aspires to be more godlike. I mean, angels have, they got a head start. I mean,
Right.
what chance do any of us have? I mean, if you're going to start making,
Right.
angel
It's the
saints.
standard.
And I asked Father Joe that, and he was just kind of looked at me like, I don't know. I don't know.
No one cares.
Father Joe, he's a great guy. Looks like a mafia dude with
Oh, right.
if he didn't have his priest collar on.
Right.
He's always eating at the best Italian restaurants in town.
Did you ever ask him if he has experienced an exorcism here?
No, I haven't talked to him in a
Oh,
while.
that's such a good
I've got I've got a lot of priest friends.
Right.
Father Nick over at St. Thomas More. I know, Father Joe at St. Michael. I know some at the diocese.
Sorry, St. Michael is the one on Palafox.
Yeah, right there on Palafox and Garden, right across from the old
I've been
newsroom.
there. My sister got married, or stepsister got married there.
Yeah, I was an altar boy there for my uncle's wedding back in the 70s.
Huh.
So it's really cool. But even though, it's like the first Catholic church, I think, in Florida.
Isn't that the one where like there's stained glass of like dudes getting their heads chopped off and stuff?
Yay.
I think there is a beheading, maybe the John the Baptist one there.
Yeah, I remember my uncle pointing that out.
Speaking of the Notre Dame, the whole thing there, during the French Revolution, it was, basically the people revolted against Catholicism and all religion, and it was dedicated to the Church of Reason, which was an atheistic group. And the mob went in there and smashed all the statues or beheaded the statues of the saints, beheaded them because they thought they were kings. So they beheaded all the saint statues and then found out later but they wanted to destroy all religion. And it was dedicated to some other kind of scientific group afterwards, but then years later returned to Catholicism when they realized that, atheism is much better. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you're basically purporting to know something.
Purporting. It's a great word.
Did I use it correctly?
I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I think I used it twice. I think I used it twice. I think I used it twice today, though. I shouldn't do that. I think I used it twice, but not on the same paragraph.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I used it earlier.
Yeah, well.
At least it was paragraphs away. You're not supposed to use the same words, except for ands and stuff, and
Right.
does in the
Shouldn't
same
even do
paragraph.
that.
What's that?
No ands, no thes.
Or twos.
Not in the same. Yeah.
You gotta use those. Some of them, but just a journalism trick. But Notre Dame, they're going to rebuild it.
Yeah, they have been 4 centuries, so.
Well, they
It's
say
not
it's
the
going to
first time
cost
it's been-
billions.
Of course it is.
Well, I heard earlier that people are already donating. They already have
They are
like
donating.
over a
Millions.
million. Yeah.
There's like 2 French billionaires that
Have
have
donated
donated
money.
and almost 200,000 each, I think. Right? Or
I don't know the
just- or
exact
was it
amounts, but
200
they've
billion?
raised. I mean, a ton of money, more than they raised for if you have an earthquake in Haiti or something like
Right,
that.
right.
I don't know how to feel about that.
I know. Well, I don't know if it's more, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, they raised a lot.
I
of
mean,
money.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was more.
And the thing is, it's been there since the 1100s, but it didn't become popular in popular culture until 1831, after the publication of Victor Hugo's *The Hunchback of Notre Dame*.
That's another thing I heard today. Is it's like a top seller again right now because
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And go Notre Dame. But before that, I mean, it was the tallest structure in Paris before the arrival of the Eiffel Tower.
Right.
And it was always a Parisian landmark, but it didn't, like I said, capture the world's attention until Victor Hugo's novel. They lost the spire, which was 300 feet tall. They've got both towers.
Yeah.
That's about all I have about that one, but I've got another story if you want one here in a little while.
Cool. I only have one thing to say about that story.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of a double-edged sword. Like, thank God they were renovating because they had
Amen.
removed
Yeah.
so many items, but also the renovations could have started the fire. So it's like
Yeah, and there's still...
I was gonna say they haven't figured that out yet.
no, but
that my first thought when I first saw it breaking on the news was
Oh wow.
terrorism, terrorism, terrorism. But yeah, they pretty much ruled that
Someone
out.
compared it to like 9/11. It was like, really, dude, come on.
It's a cultural 9/11, but it's
What
not.
the
There's no
hell?
loss of human life.
No, it's purely accidental.
it's
but
just cultural.
Will Do just handed me
Will do.
some breaking news.
What is that?
1 billion donated to Notre Dame in 2 days after massive fire ravaged Paris Cathedral.
Dang.
1 billion in 2 days.
Wow.
I tried to
It's
make
going.
it better.
It's going to take.
2 billion in 1 day.
It's going to take years and years and years and years to fix that.
But it took years and years and years to build it and then repair it. It's been
going under repairs forever.
right, and it's been abandoned a few times and then like restored, and it's just
Dedicated to the Church of Reason.
that is, if you look at other cathedrals and whatever throughout history, that's not an unusual story. It's just like, oh shit, it's almost like, oh, it's this time, for this building or whatever. I don't know.
It's like 9 Mile Road. It's always being
Oh
renovated.
God.
Y'all know anything about 9 Mile Road?
Just a fact of life. No, what do you mean?
Just kidding. For your worldwide visitors, we are talking about local regional stuff here
Don't you
here in
love
Pensacola,
it when
Florida.
people talk about local streets and places you don't know anything about?
Dude, I feel like almost all the podcasts that are based out of LA fucking do that all the time.
Right.
Well, I mean, for all our listeners in L.A. and Istanbul and places across the globe, I'll regress there. I'm not good at bannering. What do y'all want to banner about
You're
before I
good
go
at
to my
bannering.
second
You're very
one?
good at bannering.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Tell us
It's
the
too-
rest of the other story.
I need a segue.
Oh.
Okay, here's one. Number 2 thing. If somebody said, tell me something else about Troy Moon, what would come to your mind?
You love animals, especially dogs.
More than that,
What do you mean?
I've always wanted to be a celebrity.
Oh yeah, you love the attention. You're such an attention whore. Everyone knows this.
I've always wanted to be a celebrity from an early age. You know, like back in the late 60s when I was a kid. Y'all have heard of the late 60s, haven't y'all?
Oh yeah, they were great.
Y'all have heard of the late 60s? Okay.
I love their drummer.
You know, I remember people would ask me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd say social influencer / celebrity. So, and one of the greatest things about being a celebrity is you have things named after you, just like Donald Trump. Did you hear about Donald Trump was dogging George Washington for not naming Mount Vernon Mount Washington?
What?
Yeah.
This happened about a week ago.
I read that.
He was just saying you got to put your name on stuff so people remember you, because you know no one remembers George Washington.
No.
You-
No.
He was.
The only time we've had 100% approval of a president. Like the only time it's ever happened, 100% of the votes. Never again.
I mean, think how many. But I can see that if Trump were president, it would back then it would have been Mount Trump.
Right?
But anyway, you know, I am about celebrities. I'm
Yeah.
always reading the gossip stuff and things like that.
Survivor, have they called you?
No, I need to make a better video.
That's all right.
I need to make a better video. I want to be on Survivor.
What about like The Bachelorette?
No, I don't want to be on those gross shows.
Because Survivor is like totally legit and real.
It is legit and real.
No.
Too legit. Too
quit?
legit.
I've watched every second of 24. What's not legit about it?
24.
I mean, Survivor. I want to be on 24.
Is that Jack Bauer guy?
Yeah,
I hate that guy. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about him.
he's badass. Will, did you watch 24? Nobody watched 24.
No.
Survivor's a great show.
Hey guys, we're having a good old time doing the show, but we need your help getting out into the masses. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment wherever you like to find us, such as Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. You can find us under It's All Gone Terribly Wrong. On Facebook, you can find us at Gone Wrong Podcast. You can tweet at us at IAGTW Podcast. You can find us on our Libsyn page at It's All Gone Terribly Wrong.libsyn, LIBSYN.com. And you can also find our Patreon page at patreon.com/It's All Gone Terribly Wrong. Again, share, please, like, please, subscribe, please, comment, please. Gracias, mi amor.
We on?
Yeah.
We on?
Wow. Let's banner. What do you want to banner about? I'm going back to school. I'm gonna be the. Do you ever see the movie Back to School with Rodney Dangerfield?
No.
He went back to school, and his son and him were roommates or something. And
Wait, sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, it does.
it was a great movie.
I feel like also they probably did a remake of that or something.
Anyway, I'm gonna be the oldest guy in the history of
Maybe
history
not.
to attend college.
Probably not.
Nah.
Nah, one of the oldest. I start school in May. How's your school coming along?
Can't wait for it to end.
You being educated?
I'm learning a lot, but it's killing me physically.
What about mentally?
Mentally too. I'm exhausted.
Well, you should try to become a celebrity.
Uh-uh.
I guess that's what this is. What we're doing, huh?
I'm just trying to make money. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
'Cause we're doing so good.
Right, as I'm negative in my account.
with celebrity often comes money. Not always. I mean, there are the Cato Caitlins of the world who are, I guess, are celebrities, but I don't think they make money off
Not
of
for
it.
the right reasons, though.
Yeah. But one cool thing
I
about
don't want to possibly witness a murder.
Did you ever see the show The People versus OJ that won all the Emmys and stuff?
Yeah.
It was
think
really
so.
good. All the actors were. Sarah Paulson played Marcia Clark, and she was spot on. I mean, she was spot on. There's one scene where they're come knocking on the door to Cato right after the murder, and he answers it, and they're like, "Who are you?" He starts talking, and he goes, "I'm not really a person here. I just live here." So he's just basically an idiot. Right. I like to be a good celebrity because you get things named after you. Did you hear about the push to name the Black Star after Chris Cornell of, or the Black Hole after Chris Cornell of Soundgarden?
No, I didn't know that.
Black Hole, from Black Hole Sun.
Wow, that's awesome. Where do I vote?
Yeah, I mean, there are different agencies and stuff, scientific agencies that do the taxonomy and the official naming stuff. But many celebrities have things named after them. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody from presidents to musicians, and I just want to talk about a few of them. Okay. David Hasselhoff has a crab species named after him. Because it's a hairy crab and because it's supposedly his chest. Yeah, and
Is this real?
Yes.
Crabs?
Yes.
As he points to
Will's
his crotch.
pointing at his
genitals.
His wang.
Wang.
Lady Gaga has 19 species of ferns named after her.
I don't. How do you do that?
I don't know, but a lot of it has to do with the names after her. Because of Gaga is the DNA sequence GAGA is very common. The guanine, adenine. But anyway, so she's got a lot of things named after her just because of her name. Mick Jagger and Keith Richards both have snails named after them.
That's funny.
I think Mick's is called Agrotelius jagari.
That's funny.
Stephen Colbert has a few things named after him.
Really?
He has a beetle named after him, and
he looks like a beetle.
But he also went on his show and said that he wanted something better than a beetle, so they've also named a spider after him.
Oh God, he looks like a spider too.
Oh, one of your favorite musicians has a spider named after him.
Okay, which one?
Neil Young.
Oh God.
He's a great songwriter. The Spider is. They
Ugh.
write great songs.
Yes.
The Beatles. These are the people who have Beatles named after them. George W. Bush.
The Beatles.
Dick Cheney, of course.
Really?
Donald Rumsfeld. Kate Winslet.
What?
Arnold Schwarzenegger's beetle is one named after him. It's because it has a large developed femora, which is a center part. It basically looks very muscular.
That's a buff beetle.
Joe Strummer has a snail named after him.
Who's that?
Joe Strummer of The Clash.
Oh.
The Clash.
Really?
I don't know their names.
The Clash.
So you know the Clash.
I do know the Clash.
Okay.
I just don't know their individual
All
names.
4 Sex Pistols and all 4 Ramones each have Beatles named after them.
What's with all the Beatles?
Because there's a lot of Beatle things. Now this one's interesting. Johnny Cash has a spider named after him, but it's a very specific spider that is only found outside of Folsom Prison.
Oh, what?
Where he did his great live album
Right.
live at Folsom
That's
Prison.
weird.
That's pretty sweet.
And guess what Sting has named after him?
A bee.
A scorpion.
Nope, he has a spider named after him.
Oh.
But it was
Oh
a
my
rare
God.
spider. I thought it was going to be a bee or something, too. It's a rare spider found in the rainforest, because, he loves that
There you
rainforest
go.
stuff. Frank Zappa has all sorts of stuff named after him.
Like what?
Beetles and spiders are the most common. Beyonce has a fly named after her that has a prominent gold behind. Daft Punk.
Yeah, she would.
Daft Punk has a flatworm named after it called Bacilliae daftpunka. And it's called that because it has a helmet-looking
Is this
structure
for real?
on its penis.
All of this is real?
I promise you. I promise you.
No, at the end he's gonna be like, by the way.
Look me up there. Jim Morrison, I thought this was good, known as the Lizard King, has an extinct lizard named after him.
Okay.
Ozzy Osbourne has a frog named after him. I thought it would be a bat.
I thought it might be
Yeah.
an ant because he snorted all
Snorted
the
the
ants.
ants. Did you watch that?
Motley Crue, it was so good.
It was really good. I
didn't
hate
think
Motley
it was gonna
Crue.
be bad. Yeah, I'm not a big fan either, but it was good.
Once that girl started squirting off at the beginning, they had me, man. They had me. Dolly Parton has a spider named after her. So does Lou Reed. Hugh Hefner, Playboy. What do you think he has named after him?
A bunny.
A rabbit.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And the only cockroach I can see on here is Jerry Garcia of the
That's
Grateful
weird.
Dead. He got a
Why?
cockroach. I don't know. A lot of them didn't have reasons when I was looking up all this stuff.
Right.
Henry Rollins has a worm. Henry Rollins, Black Flag.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like you should
Monty
have something more
Python
badass than that.
Right.
has an
Snake.
extinct snake. There's an extinct snake called Monty Pythonitis.
Itis? That sounds
Python,
like
no,
a disease.
Python onides.
You're not
Okay.
bullshitting this?
No. Hey, well, fact check me. Monty Python and a snake.
Will do.
He's gonna let you know.
We should have a theme song for him.
Right.
Donald Trump has a moth with a prominent orange scales on its head, named after him.
Is that real?
He's gonna fact check me here in just a
That
second.
one.
They're
That's
in
probably like
cahoots.
the one.
Name. Which other one do you doubt?
What'd you say?
Daft Punkka.
Donald Trump and who?
Donald Trump and a moth. Or Daft Punk. That's the best one. Daft Punk because of their helmet on their wang. Not on their wang, on the flatworm's wang.
Right.
I wonder if it's a flat wang.
Probably is. So
Oh,
if you
wow.
could have one insect named after you, Troy, what would it be?
I like ants.
Yeah?
I really do. I liked watching ants and stuff. Am I right?
Yep. Yep.
Unfortunately.
All these. Yeah, I mean,
I got the moth one. That's crazy. What'd you say? Daft Punk worm, right?
Daft Punk flatworm. Basilia Daft Punka. See, they got a picture so you can see its wang.
Good.
I don't want to hear wang again.
I love that word. I think it's hilarious.
See the flatworm schlong.
Schlong's good too. But wang's just really funny. Or dong.
I'm gonna be thinking of 16 Candles now. And then wasn't that the movie with the long dong or the dong somebody
I think
guy?
so, yeah.
When they were doing the very
I can't
stereotypical
find it. It doesn't seem to be real.
Daft Punk and flatworm.
Mhm.
I promise you. Don't argue with me. I promise you.
Is this it?
I don't know. Well, here, if you don't try Beyonce and a fly.
Beyonce.
Beyonce. Did I say that right?
Beyonce.
Beyonce. I don't get her.
And
I
what?
don't either.
What is she?
Uh,
Gold fly.
or a
Gold
fly.
fly.
Things
Beyonce
named after Monty
is
Python.
fly. Oh, it does have a gold butt.
Gold butts.
See?
I used to call the Saints gold butts, and then they changed their pants, and I was really fucking sad. Now they're white. Psh.
That's crazy. Oh my god.
What would you like to have named after you, Jordan?
Hmm.
I just like ants. I like watching
Not a
them do their
bug.
thing.
Well, if we're talking specifically bugs,
Yeah, we're going bugs.
I want a deer. named after
No, you got to be like Mother
you
Teresa.
gotta pick
to
a
get-
bug.
Everybody else gets bugs.
Yeah.
You think you're better than Daft Punk?
Fine, a bumblebee.
Are you better than Daft
A
Punk?
bumblebee?
Yeah,
You don't like
Sort of
bumblebees.
bees.
You don't like bees.
but they're important.
As you swat them and kill them.
I don't swat and kill. I
No, you
run.
just run
I
and
run.
shriek. I was what was that little critter we were moving the other day?
A moth.
And I was carrying it toward the backyard, and you freaked out.
Yeah,
I love moths.
it was.
Death
pretty
head
big.
moth.
It was
It
beautiful
like this
too,
big.
and it was
They're awesome.
it was kind of greenish and camouflagey, and
Right.
So
Scary.
I'd be a praying mantis because they eat their mates.
why would you want to do that?
But then who's gonna get the beer? I'm just kidding.
So do you?
I'm an independent woman.
So like you and your guy are banging. Afterwards, you really want to kill him? Is that what you're saying?
Immediately.
I mean, if he's a bad lay.
Well, you're with a guy, right? Do you want to be a praying mantis with him?
No.
Is that a move? You gonna do a praying
sex
mantis with
position?
them? Yeah.
I'm sure it
sounds
is.
like it.
I'm sure there is
The praying
Is
mantis.
that like you do like the weird?
leg entanglement and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
That's gross.
I don't know why you want to kill your mate.
I never said I wanted to kill my
Kill
mate.
your mate.
Praying mantis are just badass.
Yeah, but
That doesn't mean I want it to project on me. It's not like Daft Punk wanted to be a flatworm because they have flat dicks.
Maybe they did.
yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You think
David
they'd-
Hasselhoff and the hairy crab. That's pretty good.
That's
though.
a good one.
Wanted it. Oh yeah, let me look that one up.
David Hasselhoff and crab.
So many.
And you'll probably get David
Beatles.
Hasselhoff had crabs or something like that. Or Lady Gaga, she had all sorts of shit named after her. Y'all can curse, right?
Yes, of
Shoot.
course.
Have you heard how many
Vagina.
times I said fuck on this podcast?
Vagina.
Oh, no, not that one.
Why? What's wrong with that word? We can talk about penises and schlongs and wangs, but no
Dongs.
vagina. You want you don't want the scientific medical term for it.
So, cunt.
I love that word.
I
I
do
love
too.
that word. I love it.
Really?
I love it.
I was catching up on Game of Thrones, and I didn't realize how much they said cunt, and it made me really happy. Yeah.
I didn't pick up on that, I guess.
And nothing's better if you're a dude, if you're like doing your gal and she hates that word, and you know.
I don't know about all
They have
that.
hairy arms.
What's that?
I think they have hairy arms, not hairy chest.
Oh.
Either
There's two
or.
different ones though. Like,
Ew.
there's that one,
Oh, God.
and then there's this one. I don't know which one is which.
Man, you guys have to either look at our Instagram or YouTube, because these are some crazy-ass looking bugs. Hello! We want to take a minute to remind everyone that we are always looking for musicians to feature in our episodes. Send us an MP3 of one of your tracks to itsallgoneterriblywrong@gmail.com, along with any upcoming shows and additional information you'd like us to promote. We will never give you up, let you down, or desert you.
The end.
The end.
That was good. That
Short and
was-
sweet.
Yeah, no, I really
Yeah, that was
enjoyed those
awesome.
topics. I thought, I mean, because we had talked about other topics in the past, so I was like, it's probably gonna be one of those, but nope. It
Can't
surprised
between
me.
them.
Two fresh ones.
Well, Notre Dame was on my mind.
Yeah.
And I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about the relics that are around the world. And
Around the world.
I'm surprised that some stylist isn't coming out with like a Mary's girdle knockoff. Yeah, wear the girdle Mary wore. You know, do ladies wear girdles still?
Actually,
No.
yeah.
I mean, women your age.
Only the ones that are out of shape.
Girls.
What's that?
Or like Spanx.
That's like our modern day girdle.
Spanx. Yeah.
What are the things under the skirts that they used to have? The long things under skirts.
What, like petticoat?
Slips.
Slips.
Is that what
Do,
those are called?
do y'all
Petticoat?
still wear slips?
No.
When necessary.
I mean, actually, I do own a slip for, there's a few dresses that are a bit too thin.
Yeah, if they're see-through.
Giggity.
Yeah, slips are so sexy.
No, don't wear the slip with this. What I'm saying, giggity,
Gotcha.
man.
There was an incident at a Sunday brunch.
Tell us.
Nope.
What?
What? Tell me.
You can't
What?
start
No. What
with
color?
that.
What color was it? White.
No,
White dress?
it was a blue. It was a blue skirt. It was a blue ankle length skirt that I thought was breezy and patterned enough that it was fun or whatever. So I went to brunch with a friend of mine and her kids.
Did you wear underwear with it?
Nope, sure didn't.
Oh.
Because it was summer. Because it was summer and it's hot and I don't like to sweat in my underwear and just sit in it.
Giggity.
It's gross.
You know, there's a market for that.
Yeah, there is.
For-
Especially in
I
Japan.
mean,
You saw your worn
oh,
panties.
my sweaty panties.
Oh my
I had a
god.
guy
No.
on Facebook ask me the other day if I would send him worn socks.
Shut up.
Socks.
Socks.
I'd be more of the
How much
panties.
does he want for them?
He didn't say.
Are you thinking about it?
I thought about it.
Would he?
It's just socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My roommate was like, I'll just wear mine and then you can send them.
That's what you should do.
Right.
Some hairy dude socks.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be awesome.
Yep.
So, anyways.
Oh yeah. So, anyways, I was hoping we would forget where.
Nope.
What were we talking about?
Exactly.
No, remind me. Oh, her slip. Tell me
We're
about your
ending
story.
the show.
Lack thereof.
We were talking about you showing off.
Yeah. So we'd had the whole lunch, and I had gone up and I had walked through the restaurant in front of everyone, and it's like wall to wall windows. It's just one of those modern kind of buildings, and so we're done with brunch. We walk outside, and I'm like saying goodbye to them, and I bend down to give her son
Oh, no.
a hug, and she's like, your skirt's like totally see through, right? And I was like, what? She's like, yeah, with the sun, it's like, yeah, you can see everything. I was like, whoops.
That is so nice. I like that. Where were you at?
It was like, I forget the one. It's like one of those egg places.
Egg places.
Yeah, the one in University Mall area.
An egg place.
Oh, egg.
Like another broken egg or
Oh,
whatever.
okay, one of those
all
things.
The egg and I think is what it's called.
Yeah, you're right.
Very nice.
Yeah, well, that skirt's gone.
Why?
You could have bought a slip.
Well, I was
Or
traumatized,
I buy
so
the
that thing had to
little,
go.
like, boy shorts and just wear those on.
Yeah, well, no, I was traumatized. It had to go.
Huh.
This was years ago.
People saw your stuff.
Some
Yeah, they
people saw my
did.
stuff at a Sunday brunch. Like, they were just got...
Yay, Easter.
Tacos,
Yay, Easter.
man.
Are you guys happy about Jesus coming back on Sunday?
Yeah, stoked.
I guess.
Where's he go for the rest of the year?
Spain with...
With Santa Claus. Oh, David Sedaris has...
Everyone's summers in
David
Spain.
Sedaris has a Beatle named after him also.
Really?
Yeah.
How come he didn't make the list
I'm
of
just
celebrities?
I'm sorry.
So many Beatles.
Yeah, a lot of guys.
There's a lot of Beatles, I guess. Like,
There's a lot of other bugs.
but when
too.
you, I guess when you look at the bug kingdom, there's more species of beetle than there are anywhere else because they're found on like every continent. Maybe ants too.
Ants are everywhere, man.
Right.
Aren't spiders as well? Which makes sense. right?
Maybe.
Spiders were like the second most named. Sorry, I'm stretching.
Yeah.
The Beatles, yeah, everybody's got Beetle. Dick Cheney Beetle.
Oh God.
Can you imagine a Dick Cheney Beetle?
Dick Cheney beetle.
It's just more evil than other Beatles.
Yeah.
Darth Cheney.
Is that the dung beetle?
No,
Ew.
that's Will over there. He's here all week, isn't he? All week.
Yep.
All day, every day.
All day, every day. Questions for me? You want me to sing, do impersonations? You want me to answer questions, guess numbers? 6.
It's a good number.
Questions, comments, concerns.
Are you gonna get a MobiCon?
I'd kind of like to. I don't know if I'm invited to come and be in the peanut gallery.
Sure, of course.
Of course. You can
bet.
even come be me. And
Yeah,
Oh,
you seem more
sure.
excited than me
Yeah.
coming than
Great.
a
No, it's not
homegirl
gonna be
here.
that
wear
bad.
a wig and
It's just
some
gonna be
black,
us.
and you'll be good.
I like black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You guys gonna wear your t-shirts?
Yeah, I think so.
Will, you going over?
I think so, yeah.
Is it tacky to wear your own merch?
Not when you're.
Not when you're doing it. I don't think, man. I don't know.
I wore it today, like all day.
I wear it all the time. I wear it to the airport.
Yeah.
Like, motherfuckers.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool because you're representing the podcast, man.
Right.
You know, it's different if you're just strolling around. But then and again, that's cool. I heard y'all talking about Mobile. That Masonic building's way cool.
Right.
The one you were talking about.
It's like, but there's some Scottish tie to it. I don't remember what it was.
Scottish Rite building.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. But that's still
Yeah.
Masonic? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I don't know anything about that world.
Oh,
Masonic.
cover that.
Well,
Yes, please. Somebody inform me.
well, I was Catholic, so we're anti-Masons. Man.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the Knights of Columbus were. They kind of like formed their own Catholic
Oh,
version
yeah,
of
that makes sense. My
'cause
grandfather was hardcore Catholic, and he was in the Knights of Columbus.
Yeah, because you can't be a Mason if you're a Catholic, man.
Right.
Though there are many top Vatican priests who are rumored to be members
So how can that be?
because
I
they're
thought that was
they're heretical. That there are people that believe there are some priests in the Vatican that are there to destroy the church.
It's Illuminati shit. Man.
Yeah, the Illuminati.
Hanani's right. We need more conspiracies on our show.
We do.
I
I'll
think-
do some.
I love the conspiracies and especially the Illuminati and the
Next
Templars and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do for the summer?
I'm going to do a lot of resting and hopefully a lot of beaching. We also have some fun things that we moved from this
I heard that.
spring
Yes.
to summer.
I heard
including
'cause
the
I listened to
tattoos
your
that's already been
podcast.
announced. Huh?
Well,
I heard
better
because I
you're
listened to your
number one
podcast.
fan.
Yay, right? You proclaimed yourself to be number one fan. So.
I wanted to be number one at something.
Like number one Chinese food restaurant?
Number one Chinese. That's not real.
That's the place that I go to order my Chinese. Is literally
What's the name of it again?
It's literally number one Chinese food restaurant. That's the name of the place.
Have you asked them for proof?
I tasted their proof. It's all right.
Is it number one? Is it number one? Does it make you go number one or number two?
I guess neither.
Neither. That's not a good effect either, though.
Nope, it's not. But
when you're not doing either.
that's the truth. Truth of the matter.
Wow, #1 Chinese food restaurant.
Number 1 Chinese food restaurant gets a D. No, I'm just kidding. What would you say?
Average.
Well.
Your average kind of.
Wait, this is.
I mean, you lived in China. How does it compare?
It doesn't.
Compared to actual China, I don't know, like a B minus.
Really?
Really?
All right.
Well, being very
Okay.
generous there.
Yeah.
It is
Okay,
#1
#1
Chinese
Chinese
restaurant in Pensacola,
Pensacola.
apparently.
That's a Pensacola number 1. Well, great.
That will lead to a #2.
That will lead you to a number 2, except for me. Everyone but me.
Then you go into negative.
No
You go
one's
into the
taking
negative
poop
numbers, huh?
Except,
You go into the negative numbers.
Negative numbers and poops?
Yeah, because if you're not pooping.
Oh, yeah.
Negative poops. Damn.
I am owed 760 poops.
Maybe if we all pitch in, we can.
Start
We
a,
can-
a GoFundMe.
For poops?
Yeah.
Have y'all ever talked about poop on this show before?
No, we don't really. We don't like getting
Or
into
farts,
that.
or-
Go that lowbrow.
That's awful.
We don't do the lowbrow stuff here, sir.
That's like burping and
Oh God, this is gonna hurt.
not ladylike. Ooh,
I'm so bad at this.
good.
At what? Opening cans?
Yeah. I don't do the.
You're not good at
scared
things?
You got to do it like in one fluid motion. You kind of do it in 2 steps.
I'm scared to hurt my fingernails, and also
I do it with mine.
remember that time I ruined my keyboard by doing that shit.
Yeah, just do it
Being
away
overconfident.
from the keyboard.
Pabst Blue Ribbon. And like I said, that skateboard. How come you don't use that skateboard you got? That awesome Pabst Blue Ribbon, the
I
skateboard.
have zero
I used it a few
stability,
times. but
coordination.
Now I have a bum ankle, so I can't do anything.
Right.
I went out skating with my son this past
Is
weekend.
this your war injury? You're gonna talk about it 30 years from now. My ankle injury.
Yeah, dude. No, I already have a couple of those.
What?
My frostbite
already-
injury.
Fucked my knee up and my wrist is broken.
Do they get sore when it's cold
Oh
and damp
yeah,
outside?
yeah. I'm that old person.
Travel with some Bengay.
I've got. I don't want to hear about old people. My knee. It's just been starting to hurt because it's there, type of thing now.
Cut it off.
No.
Peg-legged.
But I hope it's just a phase. I've been squatting a lot for some reason.
What?
Well, when I'm down with the baby, when I'm babysitting my
Uh-huh.
grandson, I'll squat, and I wonder if that's pressure on my knee.
Oh yeah, maybe. I mean, it happens. Maybe exercise a little bit more.
I exercise a lot.
I'm not saying you need to exercise. I'm just saying, like, I don't
How much
know,
do you exercise?
like 0 these days.
Zero.
I was on the
She's
treadmill for, like,
honest.
3 minutes the other day.
What's that?
I got on the treadmill for like 3 minutes the other day.
Did you turn it on?
I did turn it on.
'Cause I didn't have to.
Nothing.
Right. No, it was more than 3 minutes. It was like 10.
No, I'm getting old. I got injuries too, but my only permanent one is my frostbite.
Yeah.
And it still rears up when it gets cold.
I'm injured from doing my project. It hurt my back.
And didn't you tell me one time you got injured?
Looking down. I
Yeah.
was just telling Will about that.
What?
The time I looked down in the shower and threw out my back, like my neck. I was like,
Have you practiced since then?
actually, no, because I'm already jacked up right now. So I'm in no better position. It's just traveled further down my back.
Well, the good thing is, once you hit 40, everything starts repairing itself, and your body starts getting better and
great.
better.
Yeah, is that what happens?
Sweet. Sweet.
Because
Not
at
even
30
close.
it falls apart, and then at 40 it gets better again.
No, it just
like a
it
decade
starts falling.
on-off thing.
What's the age when you start deteriorating? I think.
Birth.
No, but there's a
Technically.
growth. No, but there's a. I mean, when do you hit peak?
I think that's where like 18 or 20, 18 to
30.
25. No,
No,
it's like
y'all
18.
are deteriorating. Y'all are practically 75% dead skin right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Every day I'm oxidizing a little bit more and more.
Think about me, man. I'm almost dead like Jesus,
Right?
and I won't be coming back.
You don't think?
Practically dust.
Oh no, I might come back.
Dust
know.
in the wind. I'll be honest.
Name the group.
In the wind.
Name the group.
It's Kansas, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Of course,
God.
everybody knows that. Everyone knows this.
I barely knew it.
And Carry On My Wayward Son. That's
Dude,
their
I
own.
used to love Kansas.
Mhm.
What is that main album? Leftover Church?
Yes, that's exactly
so
the name.
good.
Rebecca didn't like albums.
I I'm just not good at remembering albums.
I just never. I mean, albums are the whole deal.
I guess when you're a good enough artist to do so, but sometimes that's not always the case, and especially because like artists today feel like they got to put out something so quickly after the first one, just because that's what our society.
But that's always been
expects.
that way. There's, I mean, for successful new artists, they got. I mean, from the '50s on, if you had a hit, they were trying to get you in the studio
Yeah,
as
but
quick as possible.
Compared to today, where we have social media and instant gratification everywhere. In the 50s and the 60s, yeah, it was still fast, but not as fast, you know? Like, I feel like there was a little bit more of a growth period. And
They also had better lyrics.
I don't
Compared
know.
to pop music today.
Listen to their lyrics. They're not exactly like...
I mean, pop lyrics in the old day weren't even
They're
that better.
all
A, B, C, easy as 1, 2,
Okay,
3.
fair enough.
I mean, I love it. It's
I do
music,
too.
Right? That's what I listen to the majority of the time, but
Pop music?
it's not like from way back, you know?
Britney
Like,
Spears.
no, not like way
Backstreet
back.
Boys?
No, I'm just
No.
like a little bit,
Yeah.
40 more decades.
I know.
I mean, they had the Archies, you couldn't get any poppier than that. I mean, sugar, sugar.
Yeah.
You know, that's pop music to me. I mean,
Right.
But you know, I don't understand a generation that really just has no regard for albums. To me, singles are great, but singles are like chapters in a book. You don't just release chapters of a book. I mean, an album is the whole thing, and a song is a chapter in a coherent body of work, in my
Well,
humble opinion.
that is a very linear way of thinking, because I think you can take artists like Lady Gaga, for example, and say that the way she tells her story and her narrative is
3 minutes at a time.
no is transmedia, I guess.
What do you mean by that?
Like,
I'm just talking about music.
I know, but you can't just talk about music when you're talking about an artist, because that person's not is more than their. If you're talking about loving an album so much because of the music, you got to think about the people that are producing that.
Oh yeah, and I
If they're
appreciate
a true
that art.
artist, then their narrative can be told not within an album. It can be across a lot of platforms, and a lot of millennial artists, a lot of new artists these days take that approach because that's what they've been raised in, to think on different levels, and how it, you know, like, I don't know, not so much a bigger picture, but like, I don't know, just not old traditional ways, non-traditional ways.
All I'm interested in is the music.
Yeah.
That's you though.
But I mean,
When you
that's
said,
what-
like, albums telling stories, like, I instantly thought of The Cure and how, like, almost
yeah.
every one of their albums is fucking solid.
I mean, that's and there. I think that's one reason I think you're seeing less quality now is because there's less respect given to the craft of creating an album. It is all about the single. And
I don't know. I think
Pumping everything
that's
out.
I feel like that's an elitist kind of approach. I feel like it's that.
Well, yeah.
I feel like that is one way to do it, and it's appreciated by a lot of people. But there's another way to express yourself through music, and it doesn't have to be at the will or mercy of the consumer.
Yeah, it shouldn't be at the
An
will
artist
of them.
doesn't need to give a shit what you like.
Exactly, and that's what I'm pointing out to. There shouldn't be pressure. So what if there's pressure to get back and do something right away? Fuck them. You know, I mean, we go back to it again.
So what if
just like the poster?
traditionally-
What would Neil Young do? It's like with
so
the big.
what if Troy Moon wants an album? Wants
No.
a full album?
No, I mean, I don't. I'm just saying it's sad that that music isn't looked upon as an artistic concept that can tell a whole story over an hour.
It's because they're all controlled by the Illuminati now.
Right.
So
I think that's extremely debatable, but as we
Let's debate it.
just debated about 15 minutes of it.
Let's
Speaking
debate.
of music,
Yes, we have a brand new theme.
that we are premiering. Is that the word? Sure.
Yeah, we're gonna premiere it instead
We're
of
gonna premiere it at the end tonight, so
Is it-
y'all can hear it, and then next episode it will be our new intro.
I think I've heard this, haven't I?
Yes,
And it's
I'm
really
pretty
good.
Sure,
It is really good.
You have, but yes, okay. So one of our, what the hell? Did you just snort?
No, I think it was a yawn.
Oh, I thought you snorted.
Will is really excited about us playing this song.
At first, I thought you were snoring, and then but your eyes were open. I was like, we bored the shit out of him. He's asleep. But yes, okay. So a friend of the show and a Patreon supporter, and one of my friends from the EAAA, Escambia Amateur Astronomers Association, Richard Manerino. He former president while I was an editor on their newspaper or publication. Anyhoozle, he is also apparently a part-time musician, and he wrote us a kick-ass intro. It's so awesome. I love it so much.
It really is
When he
good.
sent me a rough version of it, which I thought was fine, I was like, yeah, we'll take that. I was blown away.
Yeah,
I was like,
immediately fell in love.
Yeah, I did too.
Yes, and then he sent us a little cleaned up version of it, and so we're gonna play it after the show. And
I hope the cleaned up version didn't take out all the cool.
No,
Oh,
no,
no, it's good.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah,
I mean that
really
even the raw
nailed it.
version was
no,
just.
he nailed it.
And I'm trying to remember who it reminded me. I'll have to hear it again and I'll let you know. But it was like a couple things it reminded me of. And
Yeah, it reminded me of something too, but I couldn't place it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well.
speeding motorcycle.
Thank you so much for coming
Yeah.
on the show again. You're a true friend of the show, and
Your topics are always fucking on point and awesome.
yes,
so.
I was so excited. Thank you. That was awesome.
It was my pleasure. You guys do a great job without me. So I'm just
Without
I'm just happy to be here to I don't know add maybe just a little toxic masculinity to the show.
I was like, what the fuck are you about to say? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I guess until the next time it all goes terribly wrong,
I'm Jordan Stock.
I'm Rebecca Carlson.
I'm Troy.
And
We are so sorry.
Sorry.
You said you listen to our thing.
Top fan. What is this nonsense?
Whatever.
It's okay. You were on the spot.
You did it. You did it.
We got Will.
Oh, yeah.
I don't count.
Nope.